This video is under fair use. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticisms, comments, news reportings, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing.
CCNTV, bringing you captivating news since 2019.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Politics and Wellness. I'm your host, Captivating Christian, and along with me, Brother Nate, and you beautiful people. We'll get this started as we do every Tuesday and talk about like nothing but politics, news, and whatever's going on in the world of worldwide entertainment or anything else that we feel the need to talk about. And without further ado, of course, Brother Nate, let me know when you're ready to pop on up here. And I will make my way over to the chat because normally I'm always missing everybody. But hey, what's going on, sir? How are you?
Not a thing, sir. And yourself?
Ooh, I'm all right. I'm better. I am better. Yeah. Sunday was tough.
I know.
Tough, but made it through. Just May, June, July. Yeah, it's like just speed them on through. Like
just all in a row, huh?
Yeah. It's like back to back. But yeah, Mother's Day this year was a bit tough. Usually I could, skate on by, but it was a little emotional. This go around, this makes year 7. So, and I don't know if it was because it was the 7th thing for me. That's her birthday month, her birthday day, and so all just kind of rolling together for me. But I made it through, and thanks to the support of family and friends, it was okay. It was good. And I guess I needed to kind of purge that out anyway. But other than that, it was decent, and I hope all of you mothers had a great and blessed Mother's Day as well. It's always great to be honored. To be honored all the time, but definitely honored on that day for the sacrifices that you have made and make for your children or the people you take care of, whether you birthed them or not.
That's right. Hey, everybody. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Medina. Hope everybody's doing well.
Yes. Hope everybody is well. Welcome, Miss
And,
Regina. Welcome, Auntie Melissa. How are you? And everybody in the silky balcony of Captain.
Silky. Yeah, Melissa said it's 12 years for her.
Oh wow. Yeah. Sometimes it never seems like it's been a long time, but you kind of push through the best you can. But yeah, on a later note, it was a good day. It was overall, it was a good day. I am just blessed that I experienced the time I did with someone who sacrificed so much. And that was, and I guess that's kind of when everything kind of came into retrospect of the sacrifices that you may not have known about, or, that you took for granted. It was just really like, wow. So, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Regina said 39 for her, and Patty said 18.
Yeah.
Wow. I was blessed. I had 60 years.
Yeah.
60 years with her.
So, but yeah, on a brighter note, like I said, I hope everybody had a blessed one. Moving forward, we're ushering into the summer season shortly, and that's hype for me a little bit because it's coming around my birthday. Which is
there's that time of the year again.
Right, here we go with this.
Here we go again. But let me tell you something real quick before you get to the happy shit. I'm sitting here I'm thinking Sunday, right? I'm like, oh my God, I'm a 60-year-old orphan. Ain't that a fucking shame? And I had to laugh, right? I really had to laugh. I said, I'm a 60-year-old orphan. That's ridiculous. I was like,
that's crazy. I did the same thing when I was 38. I was like, I'm an orphan now.
Oh,
not technically, but yeah.
Well, yeah, you're still an orphan. You have your parents were physically gone.
Yeah. No. I mean, as far as
no,
my biological father is still, my biological.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you divorced yourself. That's a big difference.
Still living, but
okay, then get to the good shit, the good funny shit.
Yeah. So, with that, I got pissy. Well, not pissy drunk. I ain't gonna say that because I don't piss on myself, but I did get a little extra drunk, and I just.
Well, you could pay people to piss on you.
No, I don't. I don't participate in the golden showers. Don't participate in the golden showers. Just not my thing. But to each his own. I hear some people enjoy doing that. I just, I'm not into bodily fluids of waste. On me.
Well, it's recycling.
Not in the best way. Okay. So let's just get into some stuff.
The mess. That's what it is. Let's just get into the mess. It's all a mess.
It's all a mess. It is really all a mess. There's nothing pretty clean about it. I won't really do the news update thing because I haven't changed it, and it's a bit long, and I don't feel like it right now. So we'll just get right into it. I did miss a story from last week, so bear with me if I jump back just last week. California, I know we talked about California a couple weeks back when they created the task force for reparations. And that was like a big hot topic button because it threw Governor Newsom in the spotlight of being the first governor to actually introduce a state governor to introduce legislation or beginning talks or task force yet again to actually moving the ball on what will happen with reparations. So they got the green light to do this task force, and just last week, Congresswoman, Barbara Lee Jackson of Oakland, who is spearheading this with co-sponsoring the bill with the it don't say with the Congressional Studies of Institutional Proposals of African Americans, whatever that is. A think tank of other people.
Mail the check. As long as it ends with we're mailing a check.
Right. Yeah. So basically, they talked about how they would distribute reparations in the state, what it would cost the state itself. The ticket is looking like an $800 billion price tag on this proposal, which is 2.5 times the annual budget of California. And that was from the latest draft of what this would be. And of course, some people talking about just making an education fund and all this other type of stuff. And it's like, that's cool and all for those of the people who would utilize that, but allow people to take their money and utilize it the way they want to.
You don't ask anybody else how to spend your money.
How they want to spend your money. You give them the check and you let them do whatever.
Shit.
Yeah, it's always that kind of, no, I don't want to give it to you. I'll give it to you. And disperse it how I want you to have it.
I'm telling you, they're going to wait. They're going to wait till the dollar crashes. And you're going to say, here,
and then be like, yeah. And they're going
to take all the tubs. just tossing it out there. Here's all the nickels that we've been hoarding and pennies.
Right.
We've been hoarding for years.
Right. And just throwing it at your ass.
That's right. Just give me the money. That's right.
Don't get hit with the nickel. Let's see. I don't even know where to start because it's so much shit going on. And Ron DeSantis, or Ron DeSatan, otherwise known as, he is spearheading a lot of the bullshit. Let's just. I did have this in order, but I don't know how I got all. I'll talk about his old hatred as somewhere else. So, but let's start here. Louisiana lawmakers want to release youth criminal records, but there's a hitch. They only want to release the criminal records of youth in largely black areas. Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Yeah, three parishes, and they're all predominantly black parishes.
Right. These three parishes are. I know they talked about them because I just read them. I think you say that Caddo, East Baton Rouge, and New Orleans, which have a 50%, 74%, and 60% black majority in those areas. So they want to be able to push to exposing, because for those of you who don't know, I'll say that as a youth, your crimes are expunged and they're kind of locked and sealed, right? So they want to basically, for those youth that have gotten in trouble, maybe teenagers or what have you, and as they go into adulthood and that record is then closed and sealed, they want those to be exposed only for them. However, in areas where there are a large population of the others, they don't want to do that.
You may have to repeat that. You're lagging.
Okay. So what part? I don't know what part I was. The whole thing? I'll just repeat the whole thing. So how the actual system works currently for juveniles is at a certain age, their records are locked and sealed. So they can go into adulthood without having, some of them, without having that hanging over their heads. But in this case, Louisiana just passed a bill that would then let that carry on till later on in life for a lot of these young people who happen to be black, which of course is not a surprise to me because, look what we're dealing with. So I don't know. Am I still lagging?
No, you're good.
Okay. All right. So I don't know. Granted, I'm not surprised with this. It's almost like, I know people always say I'd rather know what they're doing than to have them do it behind my back. But this is just blatant, just going for it. And nobody's really saying anything about it. And I don't know why. Because this stuff affects us. It affects our young people. that may have, taken a wrong turn somewhere, but that doesn't mean that it's going to dictate their future. And they're trying to make sure that these things follow them for the rest of their lives to continue to move along the prison pipeline, which I think is crazy. But this is to let you know that, bodies bring money, and they always have. Since the very enslavement of our people, this has always been the thing. So this is no different. And they've made the prison system a way so they can continue slavery, because that's what it was after the amendment was passed. The only way they could kind of still institute the system of slavery is through the prison system, and that's what they continue to do today. So I think this is totally disgusting, but again, it's unfortunate that when you have a majority rule, they get to do what they want. And there's no checks and balances, nowhere to be heard. Now, I really wish a lot of the mainstream cable news media would talk about this a lot more and bring it to a larger group than just local. Because again, this is not just kind of a situation where it's just one area. Right now, it is Louisiana. Tomorrow, it'll be, someplace else. It'll be the countrysides of Pennsylvania. It can be anywhere. It's just, it takes a start and a spark for it to just spread around. Look at how abortion did and it's doing. Certain states are really saying, you know what, no, I'm not for it. I really agree that a woman should have the right to choose. Others are just burning it down and just, looking to charge doctors and people helping and people trying to cross state to state to get stuff done. They're really like going after a lot of these, I won't even say set in stone, but these amendments, because they're no laws, but these amendments. So it's really something to definitely take a look at. Any thoughts on this before?
Yeah, you're right, Patty. Florida and Texas will follow.
Yeah.
It's what it's doing is it's throwing the roadblock in front of our young people by making these things public. When normally that's why they, when things happen with children, the faces are usually blurred out, the names are kept out of the life because they're kids, they're under a certain age. But this totally isn't. This is just to give their kids a head start. So not surprising coming out of that area anyway, because of what they have done in the past as far as the high incarceration rates for things such as with the woman that we discussed that had children arrested because they did not break up a fight.
Right.
That type of thing. So I'm not surprised, but we definitely need to be aware. And this is what they wanted to do. They're trying to keep their kids ahead of the game. So they don't care. And that's the thing too. We always say they don't care.
Oh, they care.
And they care. But we're looking at it on the emotional level. I mean, they're competition.
Right.
Okay. They're just trying to even the fields for their kids. And we need to get more in that mindset and stop leading with the whole feelings portion of it. That they know this does this. It's like, no, they're not going to care because they're trying to better their children's chances, just like we need to be doing ours.
Right.
Hey Rico, how you doing, man? We speak to you first. We don't want you to be. I don't want you to flame us because you flamed that motherfucker on the. I don't know who that guy was, but you flamed the shit out of him. I didn't even think you took a breath. He flamed the shit out of. So I don't know who the hell it was, but he flamed the hell out of him.
Hey everybody, welcome to the
Babs, how you doing?
So, in some updated news, the former U.S. Marine killer who put the homeless man in a chokehold.
Oh, excuse me.
Are you laughing at me?
I'm laughing at Patty Duke. Patty Duke says, as far as abortion is concerned, vibrator sales. Wait a minute, gentlemen. Vibrator sales should go up. Yes, that is true.
Thank you so much, Giffen a Curse. Nice to see you. So, yeah, so the U.S. Marine murderer that killed that homeless man, and I don't really know if he's homeless, but they killed that young man who would
Well, we do know he
used
had
to
mental
perform, huh?
uh-huh. Well, we do know he had he had some mental
Yeah,
issues.
he had some mental issues. Who used to perform for a lot of the subway riders and things of that nature, and did have a bit of a lot of mental issue history. He was still murdered, and of course, this murderer turned himself in, and whoop-de-doo. But he has raised $2 million
Yeah.
for his defense fund from viewers like you. Well, not you all, but I just felt like saying that's like the PBS. Thanks to viewers like you. But yeah, $2 million. And again, I'm not surprised. People enjoy this, that other people get to do these type of things to people, black people, brown people, and kind of get away with it. This is their thing. That's their thing. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, sir. Oh gosh, you had to say something. You had to put a color on it to say something. Make me feel like the other man. Anyway, but thank you so much, Rico, for this.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So yeah, I mean, he's 24 years old. He's
Yeah,
an
but it seems
excellent.
to be the standard. Remember, they started with Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
You know, and and if it wasn't for the fact that other people were in the train, and again with the whole camera thing, I mean, yeah, we need to document some of this stuff, but we need to be more proactive in getting
doing
involved.
something right.
Yeah,
Enough. Once you
people
saw
their
that the man
lives.
was down, why wouldn't somebody just be like, hey, get off him? Like something. All this watching and not doing anything is really not helping. Like people are. You're afraid to take action. You're afraid to step up and actually be that person to say, no, this is wrong. You're not allowed to take someone's life. Like, I don't care what he did. I don't care if he annoyed you because he didn't smell the way you think he should have smelled. There was no need for that. That was totally uncalled for. There was no need for that at all. For you to be judge, jury, and executioner of someone because what? Because you think you have the right and the privilege to do so? And then this whole thing with, oh, he's a former Marine. Let's not act like, granted, thank you for your service for a lot of veterans, but let's not act like they don't train these motherfuckers to kill and then they don't like debrief them on how to be normal again.
Yeah, well, and some of them they break. You have to admit it. A lot of these veterans, when they come back, they're broken, and they do not at least attempt to fix them or teach them how to deal with their new reality. And they're really a ticking time bomb. But if it wasn't for the fact that people recording it, showing that this man wasn't doing anything, he was just being loud. So now they're all afraid. Well, that's how white people are scary like that anyway. When people get loud, we just ignore him. As long as he's not touching anybody. Now, for him to choke him out, I would have expected him to be putting his hands on it or on someone, or having a knife or a gun or something like that. But to be standing up there, like I said last week, how many times we've been on the subway? I'm more afraid of the teenagers than I am of a person having a mental episode, because they usually don't harm anybody. They just want somebody to either listen to them for the 5 minutes.
Right.
But then too, we had to look at the time. He had him in that for 15 minutes. I was like, what stop is that long? I mean, even as short as our train line is here, within 5 minutes you're at the next station.
Right. Yeah. No, but, I agree with you. Given the curse that he wanted to kill that man. He killed him because he wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, let's be realistic, and I'm sure they teach him too. Once he went limp and once he urinated on himself and defecated.
You already knew he was gone. You knew he was before that. But you just wanted to continue to ensure, like almost at that point, even like with the George Floyd situation, you wanted to, with Derek Chauvin, you wanted to ensure, like, let everybody be on notice. This could be you. Like, if
this could be you. That's
come near me, this could be you. If you try to come near my family, this could be you. If you, any of that. So at some point, that's what it gives. It gives that whole come over here and you'll be next type of deal. Like, try to stop me kind of situation, which I think is ridiculous.
Yeah, but we have been seeing fuck around and find out moments a lot lately.
Yeah, definitely. I had one that didn't turn out violent, which I'm glad, because them young men would have probably been in so much trouble just because it was who it was. But definitely will show that later. However, the UN is stepping in a little bit yet again to basically put the U.S. on notice that they must tackle police brutality against Black people head on. Yeah. So this historic 2-week tour of the UN ends for a call of a nationwide commitment to address the racial discrimination in dealings with law and law enforcement with Black people. The UN is basically telling the United States that basically they need to get their shit together, that they can't police the world and treat their own citizens the way they do.
And doing the same thing.
Right. And you trying to talk about people being the shiny beacon of democracy and human rights towards other people, and then charging other nations for violating human right offenses and going to war for these human right offenses. But yet you are allowing these things to happen to your own people and your own citizenry. So, yeah, the UN has once again put the United States on notice. However, I look at this kind of like, nigga, please, only because it's like you kind of getting upset with somebody holding the purse strings a little bit and kind of running everything. So it's like, okay, yeah, you saying something, but what is this going to do at the end of the day? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's kind of a shame thing. It's kind of, if we put them on blast in front of the world, that maybe they'll do something about it. I don't know. But I mean, at this point, they've been all over the world news anyway. So what does it matter?
Because this is the second time that I've actually ever heard it.
Yeah. The former UN general had discussed it the first time. So this is the second time that this has been brought forth by the UN to the United States, indicting them on the way that they treat Black people in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Second time.
What you say, Patty, the shining turd?
Yeah, something like that. Just real shitty. But I don't know. We'll see what they do. Speaking of shiny turds, Representative James Clyburn protected his.
Oh, you can't get more shittier than him. He's at one. He's that one that stops your toilet up because it's the size of a potato.
Just like he protected his district at the cost of Black Democrats. Like, and this is why I say that I don't promote one side over the other. They're all corrupt in their own way, but a lot of this just stems from wanting power and money and wanting to keep it, and by any means necessary, in the words of the late great Malcolm X, they will do it. So it's not even about being that person to ensure that democracy lasts. It's being that person to ensure the way your democracy is, the money that you get from the capitalistic system that you were able to work and kind of make it work for you, that stays flowing. He already got busted because he was taking his campaign finance money and donating to his family members and kind of saying that they worked for him, or these little shell companies. He got busted around about was this last year or right in the early part of the election season that came out. Now this, I mean, it's just really crazy. I mean, he arranged a meeting back in November 19 of 2021 with his then chief of staff, the South Carolina Senate Judiciary Committee. They text a couple of other people, and they've been trying to work this shit. Like, he got a lot of prominent Democratic people that would have been able to be in the state house, and he railroaded their asses so he could keep his seat, and his money.
Yeah, he sacrificed what, 2 other seats?
Two. So he could keep his seat. And mind you, they don't even have the majority. So what, like, you don't have the majority. You need all the seats that you can get. Why would you risk 2 seats possibly having to increase your chances just so you could keep your 1 seat and keep your? It's just like the way this money is so embedded in these people, and these old ass people, instead of just being like, okay, well, I've been here 30, 40 years. Let me just go on about my business. Bow, bam, boom. Thanks for the change. I'm out. And go find something else to do, which is, it's like they will stay here until they're like dying breath, but it's like they're not doing anything about it. Or just sitting there collecting, and then they die, and you find out they're worth like $5 and $10 million. How? When you're a public servant, how is that possible? I tell you how, because you got all these lobbyists and all these things funneling money into everything you have. If they're funneling money into your campaign, they're funneling money into family members' businesses, the same way they've done with the other people. So it's no different. It's just on a larger scale when it's exposed, when you're, the president or whatever, things of that nature. But they do the same thing. They do it all. That's why everybody's kind of on hush hush. We're not going to really go after, Darnell, because if we go after Darnell hard, everybody's going to be exposed. So they kind of got to be careful of how they treat Darnell. That's why they just, no, let's give him a little tap. Oh, shame on you. You shouldn't have done that, kind of thing. But they don't go.
Bad Darnell.
Right. They don't go hard at him because they know if they go hard at him, you might as well go hard at everybody, and then everybody.
They're all dirty. They're all dirty.
Yeah. So, but it's sad to see this. Here you always talking about pushing fellow Black and brown Democrats to the forefront to be new leaders. That's what he talks about on TV.
But see, the bad part with him is he has that problem of always running his mouth when the mic is hot, and you actually hear what he actually thinks. Because he don't know how to shut the fuck up.
No.
Because he's one of those old ones that, I can fuss as long as I'm on here, but when it comes to a point in time, I know when to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, and you know your time. You've had a successful run being the first Black whip under Nancy Pelosi or Kitten Heels or Knock Knees. You had a great run. Why can't you see it for somebody else? Just like somebody gave you the opportunity or you stole it, however it worked, and you were able to climb the ladder and get where you are, why can't you see that for somebody else? But again, I even think that even us, we get this whole kind of crabbing about, well, I made it, I did it. Almost that, I call it the Clarence Thomas syndrome. I did it. I don't want you to do it, but I did it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that all. Well,
and he had help.
Yeah, I was able to make it. How? They reached from the muck to pull you up because you just represented something that we can use. Like, oh, look, guys, we got a blackened. Like, just, and they totally
thinks like us. And we can use it. He can be the mole. Well, that's all. Right. That's all he is.
Yeah,
he could be the turd.
Yeah. He could be the turd in our toilet. Because I mean, he had every day. There's a story coming out of Clarence Thomas with this wealthy billionaire basically supporting his entire life to make sure
that billionaire was fucking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Clarence and Jenny.
He gotta be screwing them both. There's no way that this man is beholden to this one individual that much. They haven't grown up together. They're not even friends like that. It's like, yeah, this person was so invested.
They friends like that.
It's so invested in ensuring that he wants a government that he can run, that he will do anything. And that means put somebody in his pocket. But why is nobody standing up and saying, hey, come on, that's going too far. You're actually influencing the people who usher in the laws, who ensure that the laws are running like
I say it every week. Your whole government, all three branches, is corrupt.
Corrupt like shit. And it's like, there's no way you can sit here and ensure to people that their government is sound when there's all this corruption and all this money being poured into these things. It's sad. It really is sad and crazy. Speaking of sad and crazy, here you go. Oh yeah, well yeah. Let's just get on.
Did you see her? Did you see her?
No, I didn't see her.
Oh, if she don't look like she ready for the casket.
No, I didn't see her, but I heard that I did read that even her staff are very concerned about her and her health, because she is supposed to be making this return back, and she called herself allegedly praising Hakeem Jeffries and the work he's doing as the minority leader of the House, and she wind up talking about Tim Scott and praising Tim Scott. Now, granted, any other time you would say, "Oh, it's just a slip or a fraudulent slip, no big deal, no harm, no foul." But this,
we all look alike. We all look alike, boy.
Right? She's been out for a while because she's been having issues. It's all been hush hush, kind of hum hum. But the whole time she was out, there are judicial nominations that need to be filled, and they're trying to fill them before they possibly may lose control to do so in the Senate come 2024. And she's over, trying to freshen up and look like something so she could come back and not look half dead.
She casket ready. She need to put on the spackling makeup that they use.
That becomes her. That's what I keep thinking about every time they show the little picture clip. It's just like, just let it go. The hold on to power, and to find out, I said last week, to find out that this woman is damn near worth almost $20 million. And it's like, how do you have that much money? How do you have unearthed that much money within your 30-year span of just being a public servant, of getting paid a public servant government salary, which is like $100 and something thousand? Not much at all. Not even much for you to be shaking anything at. People complain about being able to afford rent in DC and have to travel back and forth and do all that, and yet you have amassed a great fortune. How did you do that? I know how. Stock trips and all that kind of stuff. You did the what's her face? The lady that got put in jail. Martha Stewart. You did the Martha Stewart shit.
Insider trading.
Insider trading shit. You did all that, but nobody talks about it because you were able to do it and kind of kept it hush. And nobody, because I just can't see it. People amassing this amount of money, just you going on a $100,000 salary, and that's all you're doing. And people say, "Oh, well, they do speeches and other things like that." Yeah. Give me, okay. But you ain't making that much money off no speech. You're not. Book deals. You're not. No, you got
every
big
time
books, pouring money.
Every time I see her, the only thing I can say is, "It's any time now."
But we shouldn't have to say that. Like, there should be term limits on these things. Like, I just don't. I don't get it. Like, this whole I'm staying here until the wheels fall off. Like, even with Joe Biden, really? No, sir. You should have said, I just came in here just to kind of even shit out, and I'm gonna bow out. If Kamala wants to run, she can. If y'all want to put up somebody else against her, cool, I'll support whoever the nominee is, but I'm bowing out so I can enjoy the rest of my final years. How long do you think you got to be climbing up steps of Air Force One? Not long.
No, you mean falling up steps. Between that falling off the
You
bike,
can
falling
barely-
up the steps,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can barely get up the
saluting
steps.
people and talking to people that aren't there. You ain't got a lot of time either. It's just a matter of time,
Yeah,
man.
you waiting to hug people
Joe,
and
it's a
or
matter of
shake
time.
their hand, and you holding out your hand, and they just not paying you no attention. You like, sir, what are you doing? Wake up! Where are you? Where are you? So I don't know. I really just hope we get into a space where you don't have to stay, or you can't stay in this office forever. You have to do the job, a certain amount of time to do the job. After that, you're out of there. Go find something else to do. You should not be able to just sit here and stay here time and time again to the point where it's like, well, what the fuck is going on? You've amassed all this fortune, but what have you done? What have you done?
Thank you for the super chat. Sorry, I had to
Thank
interrupt.
you. No problem. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, like
You know, you gonna have to start showing something for these super chats now.
You know what?
But see, you young and single, you could do that shit. You ain't gonna have my happy home all fucked up. He's having a midlife crisis. He just flashing and all this shit. I was wondering what he was doing on YouTube.
Well, see, I would have to.
He's saying he talking politics.
I have to take that to Patreon. You can't do that here. But yeah, so I wish we get into a place of term limits, so that way we can have new, fresh ideas. Either party in there and just actually do it. It needs to be clean. You got a clean house with all these people. This kind of we're just going to stay here and be the establishment kind of thing is getting real stale, especially when you have situations and things happening and nobody doing anything about it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just kind of, well, it's not working. It's obviously not working. The prayers are not working. You know, all this stuff that you run to do when it's time to actually do work, it's not working. So you need to find a new way to do it. So yeah, I do hope Ms. Feinstein finds her way to the nearest senior citizen development and just, play shuffleboard, play bridge.
Anytime now. It's okay. It's okay. We'll be all right.
Read to the wall. You'll be okay. I mean, this whole thing of I want to. I mean, you're as we know, you're not going to be here to like witness people praise you for the life you lived.
No, you won't even know it anyway.
Like as we know, you may not.
You look like she gone.
Yeah, right. Already, it's just
gone. She gone. I'm telling you, she gone.
It's really sad. Like, stop this whole thing to do it is like cut it out. We just need to have term limits and be done. That's it. But speaking of somebody who I wish had a term limit, Ron DeSantis. I mean, I don't know if you're just trying to make Florida the first pure Aryan white nation state.
That's what it sounds like. You see my little thing under my name, right? All the little Mexicans running out of Florida.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't. But then, in the same turn, because he did a press conference and it looked like a white Cuban or something like that up there preaching about Christianity, and he's never experienced racism being an American or since he's been in this country. And I'm like, bullshit, really? Like, are we really pushing this kind of fake ass narrative that you've never experienced racism?
It's a cult. I'm telling you, man, it's a cult.
It just makes no sense. And then using Christianity as the driving force to create these, I wouldn't say draconian because they've done it before, but to rebirth this kind of Jim Crow 2.0, it's crazy. It really is crazy. And the fact that they're just coming out. This is not just this one. He did some others. So this was his ban on funding universities. and mainly universities, historically Black colleges mainly, and colleges and universities that focus on diversity, focus on African American studies, and things of that nature. Just trying to cancel it out altogether. Like I don't want my teenage kids going into college and having to learn about, quote unquote, as they like to call it now, wokeness and being woke. You go to school to learn an array of things. So you learn about different cultures. You learn about all these things. That makes you a well-rounded individual. That's what liberal arts is. But like that's what you go to school to do. You learn everything, a bit of everything, to make you a well-rounded human being. This kind of one is centered on just learning about white European whiteness and imperialistic views. I just feel like we're instead of going forward, we're like going back. Yeah, and that's the time that I don't know nothing about, but I've read it. You know what I'm saying? So it's
never really gone away. You've seen glimpses of it, but not to the extreme that the forefathers have seen it. They were in it. We've seen glimpses of it, and we've seen, because some of the people were still alive, that cheered on that type of thing. This is a response to BAP. Says, well, at least DeSantis can't govern more than twice in a row. Who's to say? He just changed. He just changed where in Florida they can't be the governor and run for presidency.
President, yeah.
And they did a backroom deal on that. They're coming in at night and they're signing all these bills and all these things, and
so now he can be governor and still run.
That's right.
Governor and still run for president.
And see, and that's what they're doing. They're changing all the rules
as they go along. Yeah. To kind of supplement whatever they're trying to do. Because even with this thing with that whole Disney debacle, it's like, you do know, dum that if Disney were to pull out completely, y'all got to foot the bill for everything in Orlando. Everything. That means tons of jobs lost. Who's paying that bill? Who's paying the infrastructure bill? There's so much to it than you just getting mad at a theme park for choosing to include other people as they do like a Pride Day or whatever. Like,
all that was just over words.
Yeah, right.
All of this was just over words. It's not like they, they actually did something that was tangible that you could feel. Just that they voiced their opinion.
Yeah.
But I wish he just dropped dead.
Not dropped dead.
Yeah.
Speaking
put my faith back in God. I'll smite you. Remember those days God was just spiting motherfuckers left and right?
Yeah, that we know of. Even though,
that's true. Yeah, you know who wrote that book? So like this, the black version, they were smiting.
Yeah. Queen James. So years after condemning Title 42, which also allowed border officials to illegally remove immigrants or migrants from seeking asylum in the U.S.-Mexican border during the COVID-19 pandemic, advocates of Black migrants or immigrants are far from celebrating the end of the public health emergency policy. I'm not surprised, because they always treat us differently no matter where, and this is why I don't really get into the whole when other Black cultures think that they're slightly different than Black Americans in a sense. And it's like, no, when you're Black, you're Black. And they like to show you every so often. So this article basically talks about the migrant law and how it affects Black immigrants. Black immigrants coming from Mexico, but from places like Haiti or different.
Yeah, you'd be surprised because a lot of other people have migrated from Africa down to South America,
South America, and then up
and finding out
to,
you get caught up with whatever's going on down there, and they migrate up this way.
Yep.
But everybody's concentrating on all these people at the border. What about the ones, and we're talking about the Europeans that have overstayed their visas?
Oh, they don't care nothing about them.
Yeah, they overstayed their visas. They're coming in from, they catch a flight in. They don't hop the fence and jump and wade through the stream and climb over barbed wire.
No,
that type of thing.
They come right through. They go right through customs,
and then they come right through customs, and they disappear. Like I said, they overstay their visas or whatever, and just never leave. Yep. And nobody ever says nobody's riding around, New York City or Boston or wherever else to pick these people up. I don't see ICE up there.
No, of course not, because you don't. They don't mind. They don't mind those types. Darnell said himself he'd rather them come from European countries than as he put it, shithole nations.
Yeah, but it is their right to come to the United States if they're in distress. That's anybody's borders. That's any country's borders.
That's it.
And especially now, because you're going to have all this with the global warming and everything else. Not just the drug related and the violence. You're going to now have the environmental. Aspect of it.
That's coming too.
People relocate.
Yeah, and that's going to start happening faster than you think too, because a lot of these places are going to start burning up or drying up, and they're going to have to leave, or flooding out, and they're going to have to leave and come somewhere else. And you can mean to tell me you're not going to invite the people in, or have stipulations where they can't come in because they don't look like how you think they should look? I mean, I don't know.
And I mean, like the case of Haiti, most people just assume because of the violence that's going on there. But remember, they had an earthquake, which they have not recovered from.
Nope. But don't forget that Clinton Foundation's down there helping them out, ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
Making money. Just crazy.
Here we
Bill walking around getting his Peter sucked on.
I was gonna say he's selling Monica prayer clause. That's for the lack of a better word. Monica prayer clause. That's right. Got the holy jizz.
Speaking of holy jizz, again, Governor Ron DeSantis or Ron DeSatan just signed a bill again legalizing anti-LGBTQ and medical discrimination. So basically, it's a whole nutshell. First of all, you can't say gay, and then if you happen to be gay and on some kind of medication, the doctors can now say they have the moral right upon their religion not to service you,
not to give you aid. But isn't that breaking a Hippocratic oath?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just saying, you take an oath, Hippocratic oath, to help the sick.
A hypocrite oath. That's what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah, it definitely is a hypocrite oath to help anyone who is sick and in need of care. That is what you do, regardless if they can afford it or whatever. That is the oath you take. So basically, what Ron DeSatan is saying is, hell with that. If you want to say you're Jesus, okay, this same Jesus that we're supposed to believe was, healed the sick, the blind man, the woman with the issue of blood who touched the hem of his garment, the girl that was dead, and he healed her, his friend Lazarus, he healed him. All these things he did, but you could say that because of that man Jesus who healed all these people he did not know, did not have any kind of relation to, none of them, some of them really didn't have any money, heard about him, but didn't really know him, and just wanted to see what he could do for them. That guy. But you can say, because of my religious beliefs, I don't believe in what you do, so I'm not going to help you, and I have every right to do that. That is basically, in a nutshell, for the layman, what Ron DeSantis has just signed into bill into Florida. Now, what this can do is detrimental to the actual to people, because anyone who's sick and you take in medication because you happen to have the House and Virginia acronyms, get it together, or any kind of disease or ailment where you're taking medication to sustain your life. You could go to the doctor. The doctor can now say, nope, I can't. I can't see you any longer. I can't prescribe that to you any longer. And don't have to refer you to another doctor. They can just go, you got to find it on your own, or find somebody who'll give it to you, because I can no longer give it to you because it impedes on my religious rights and freedoms.
Now, did you? I don't know. I might have been laughing. I don't know if I heard you or not. You know that say like emergency services, they can do the same
Yeah,
it carries over.
I haven't gotten there yet. Yeah, but like emergency services, basically anything that you would get at your local clinic or fire department, anything, first responders situations. It is big. It is really nothing to like kind of like it doesn't matter. This is just the tip of the iceberg. And like Patty Duke said earlier, Florida, Texas is soon to follow. From Texas, there's Alabama. All these other states will start picking up this stuff to where people won't be able to get help.
Right. Because
the first responders will say, you know what, you're either not my color. Let's be very clear. You're either not my color, or you're not, you don't align with my Christian values. So I don't have to help you.
Yeah. Now he never even thought about this. Suppose because he has 2 young kids. Suppose one of his kids have an allergic reaction, and a big black man like me ride up in the ambulance, right?
But see, that's what they forget. That is what they forget. It's the same thing when they push you don't say gay.
Yeah, because they're out in the woods somewhere, and I drive up in my ambulance.
Right, in your ambulance.
Okay. In my ambulance, right? I drop up in there, and I was like, "Oh,
thank you so
much. I know who you are."
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's against you're against everything that I believe in, and I'm not. You're just gonna have to get somebody else. So it takes another 20 minutes.
But for somebody else to come,
and by then that little motherfucker been to swole up and pop like a pimple.
It makes me think of like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Turn blue,
right? And just
but they
always put their foot in there. They always put their foot in their mouths, because they did the same thing with the whole gender thing. With the you can't say a person can't a child can't say that they are Miss or Mr. or what have you, however they felt like being addressed. You had to address them by their assigned gender, right? So then they were like, okay, well, since that's the case, what we're going to do then, since you want to sign this, is you can't say Mr. or Mr. to nobody. So that includes even the people who want you to address them as sir, Mr., Miss, whatever. No, you can't say that. Nobody. Everybody's on name basis. There's no gender kind of affiliation with any of it. And they were up in arms. But this is what you asked for. It's like they're always just looking for whatever they're looking for at that moment. They never look at the big picture of what this fully entails, how this really can grapple a whole lot of people, and how this can be twisted to then make you look even worse. Like, just like you said, a person could be sitting in an ambulance ready to administer aid and say the same thing on the reverse. That, yeah, I see you over here dying of a heart attack, but looks like you're going to have to wait another 25 minutes because I religiously cannot, my moral values won't allow me to administer aid to you. So you're shit out of luck.
Right. And you have people that do that. I mean, anytime that they don't want to bake a cake for you, they don't want to give you a marriage license. They already do that.
We're
Because
already
first of
doing it.
all, because they want to wield the power
Right.
of that decision.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. I can make somebody else's life miserable, or
Miserable,
motherfucker, I can make your life miserable too.
And then too, you're etched in stone. You know what I'm saying? It's like you looking at these people. Sometimes they just want that 15 minutes, and you'll be in the history books forever. That fat woman that denied them people that damn cake, and the other fat one that denied the marriage certificate. They're, believe it or not, they're in history books right now. For the action that they took, which sparked this whole thing and debate on people having their feeling that their moral compass is askewed from actually participating in something that, first of all, again, you're a civil servant. That means you serve the people. You don't just serve God, you serve the people. So you cannot separate the two, which we're supposed to be doing in the first place. Church and state are supposed to be separate. So then now we've come into a place where we have merged the two. And not only have we merged the two, but we've merged white Jesus in all this.
Yes, it's
Aryan white Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. I don't know. I just find it to be very, very crazy and creepy, to say the least. I think, was that it? Yeah, we talked about his black ass. We talked about that. I think I got everything until I get to this white lady that I saw. Yeah, we did that. And what was this one? Yep, we did that one. Yeah, I think I got everything. I think this was a short one. Okay. Yeah, so let's look at, of course, it's never a dull moment when a Karen feels the need to exercise her Karen rights. And thank you so much for this. I got sent this to my DM on my Instagram, so I thought I'll share it. So take a look.
No, record it.
Help me! Please help me!
It's not your break.
Please help me!
It's not your break. It's not your break.
Please help me! Help! Please get off me!
What the f*** going on, bro?
Please get off me!
Yo, don't not take it, bro. Now you're not getting the break, bro. Now you're not getting the break, bro.
Help!
You're not getting
Get
the
off
break.
me,
I'm
dude.
not. Bro,
Why you took his phone? What's wrong with you?
You're not
Don't touch
touching
his
my
phone.
phone.
Do not touch his phone.
I'm not touching you. You putting your stomach on my hand.
No, dude, stop. No, dude, stop. No. I said no. I said sit down.
Please.
She's just crying.
You're not crying. I got
Stupid.
I got
It's
your
my
video.
break. I'm drunk.
Wait, you pulled it out? Hey, Hassan, you pulled it out? Hassan, you pulled it out?
This is my bike. It's on my account. Please move.
All right, so why don't we reset the bike?
I'm not resetting the bike.
It's his.
Reset it. I'm gonna throw it out on your account.
You are active.
All right, so let's just put some of this in context. There are bikes called city bikes around New York City, where they have them in DC too. You swipe your card in them.
We had them here. Now we got is scooters. You know the people. Yeah, they all been riding around with cruisers.
That's crazy. So you put your card in the bike station. It frees the bike, and you can ride the bike around the city. You get charged as you ride, and then once you finish, you put it in a docking station, and it will complete your charge of however many miles you did or whatever. However it calculates it, you get charged at the end, right? And so these gentlemen were at the station. He put his card in. He's pulling the bike out, and she proceeds to say, "No, that's my bike." He's like, "No, I'm not getting off my bike." But my whole thing with this is immediately how she yells help and screaming as if he's doing something to her, and immediately white man comes to save
white savior in the back, right?
Here's the savior to come to save the lily white of what's going on. Oh, just put it back in and reset it. No, I'm not putting it back in to reset it, because it's not going to reset. It's going to charge him for taking the bike out, putting the bike in. He's still going to be charged. Then she would have to put her card in to actually get the bike, but it wasn't her bike to begin with. I mean, and that's just the premise of it. It's not your bike to begin with. So then why would you feel like you can take someone's bike and then scream help and all this other type of stuff, which I think at this point, these people need to start being press charges upon them for falsifying these type of things, yelling help, just like you can't scream fire in a crowded theater or in a place, a crowded place to cause havoc. This type of stuff needs to be happening too. You screaming help, help, help as somebody was doing something to you so the police can come and do what? Just put the bike up and let it reach. Once I close the bike, that ends the thing, so she can easily put her thing in and take the bike. No, I'm not doing that. I don't already paid for the bike. She wants to now take the bike from me. No, we're not doing that. Because when she goes to dock it, it's going to charge my card. No way. Who's doing that?
Yeah.
Who's doing that? And I am so thankful to know that the place she works for, Bellevue Hospital.
Yeah, because they don't play. They don't play. Them children got on Twitter and shit. They found her ass out where she worked.
Yeah, they sure did. And they definitely put out a statement that they do not agree with the behavior of said person. She is under review, and I think at this point she may have already gotten fired. But last time I checked,
because can you imagine if
under review?
I couldn't have her working, being a nurse and knowing that type of person is working on other people.
Right, but this is like we talked about months ago with the kind of the racial inequalities and the actual racism that goes on even in the health care system, where doctors have mistreated and misdiagnosed on purpose. Nurses have done it. That doctor that died of COVID. Came out talking about how she was being misdiagnosed.
She was a doctor.
She was a doctor herself, and basically was telling the doctor what tests to run on her and how to treat her. And he totally was like, "No, I'm not doing that. You don't need that."
No, he didn't want that black woman telling him
what to do. Yeah, tell him how to do his job. Exactly. Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's really crazy.
Yeah, man, you're losing your job over a bike that isn't even yours.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so people will support this. People will support this kind of behavior and even support her in this delusion of you think this stuff belongs to you because you've been indoctrinated that everything in this nation, people like
belongs to you.
Yeah, people like you built it. People like you founded it. And it's like, how do you find something or how do you start something or build a foundation or something when there are people already here? That's like moving into somebody's house and go, oh, well, yeah, this is nice new place I got here. And I mean, people, there's beds and everything. It's the Goldilocks syndrome. It's really the Goldilocks syndrome. You come in there, you just eating up food, you doing this, you finding a place to sleep and go, oh, this is real nice. I'm gonna just sleep right here after I ate their food, fucked up their shit. I'm just gonna this is my place. I'm chilling. This is what they do. And this is acceptable. This is okay. In 2023?
Yeah. That goddamn Barack Obama that started all this shit. Got these fucking white people losing their goddamn mind.
Well, see, but that's all because another saltine thought it was going to be extra funny. You know, it'd be funny. I think he should run.
Crazy, just crazy.
And he hurried up and retired after that, and then died. But just absolutely crazy. But what can you say? Yeah, and to think that would be a joke. Well, you know,
yeah.
Like you thought it was a joke, but yet the man ran and won. Yeah, they always think it's a joke. That's why it's about that time. It's enough of marching and praying and
them days are done.
Hoping it's time for fuck around and find out. It's time for fuck around and find out.
Stop listening to these religious leaders. Everything can't be peaceful. Remember, the United States is built on violence, and that's the only thing that she responds to. You got to smack that ass.
Well, I mean, history would tell us that nothing gets
that ass twice, bad.
Nothing gets changed without violence.
Violence. And you have, unfortunately, that's. I mean, that's how the United States came to be. Nothing but
you can
violence.
Read that book that they call the Bible and find tons of wars.
Oh my God! Did you speak against the Bible? All the watch out, some Kojic people gonna come for your ass.
No, but I mean they are. There are stories in the Bible of war. So I mean, I don't understand how, I guess maybe because it's prayed about. It's a prayerful thing. You got to pray first before you go into war. I don't know, but there's still talk of wars, nations going against each other, and one coming out victorious, just plain and simple.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I salute these young men for not putting their hands on this Lily White.
You know what?
Seen her just falling out, and this broke, that broke, and they trying to put them young men in jail behind.
They were down here. They beat up and ran her pockets.
So
they have no love
for that, but
around here, not that tight.
It's enough. Enough's enough. We can't keep being kind of submissive to this type of behavior because it's unacceptable.
Bab said Jesus was flipping tables.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Jesus was flipping tables too. That's why I don't understand. We get no one kind of turn the other cheek. He walked in there gambling and shit. He was just like, not in here, not today, Satan. Fucking shit up. So it's just time to start fucking shit up.
Jesus on Bravo.
He was on the Housewives. He was shaking the table. He was on. He was on the first with loving Jerusalem, I guess. Loving Nazareth, whatever you want to call it. He was there shaking the table and fucking shit up. But yeah, I mean, something has to be done. This is just it's not working. Like
every time something happens, you marching around with signs. And it's like,
That's it. I mean, they've been coming out marching out with signs now, and their khakis and their ski masks to cover their faces because they don't want to, God forbid, lose their jobs. But they'll march around. Philadelphia, they just had another march where they were in their blue shirts and their khakis. So like, you will not replace us.
They had to catch the subway or something.
Yeah, you will not replace us.
They should have got caught. They should have got caught on that subway.
I'm just saying, you that bold, take your mask off. Yeah, take your mask off because you don't want to lose your job.
That's right.
You want to lose your job. You want to talk that shit. You don't lose your job.
Right. Same thing as the Klan. That's why you wore hoods.
That's right.
So nobody knew who the hell you were.
That's right. So stand in your shit.
Because nowadays, them motherfuckers hopped on Twitter as raggedy as Twitter is now, and they still found your ass out.
Yeah. That part is true.
They just screaming at her face, screaming at crazy lady, tends to bring it back to earth.
Yeah. I mean,
I would have the rage of the ancestors. I'd probably have a fucking heart attack. Somebody, just so much. I'd have to put my hands on that just because.
It's baby shaking syndrome. That's all it would be because I can't. Right. Like, are you crazy? Are you crazy? Something's really wrong with you. If you don't get the hell out of my face, I just don't see it. And the sad part, again, as the bystander, for you to just come over there and immediately she's yelling help, you don't even sit here to even think, well, what's going on? Your immediate thing is, oh, just do this so she can be okay. Fuck her being okay. She came over here creating a problem, right? She came over here.
Don't even know this lady.
Nope. There's no relation to this lady at all. She just comes over here and grabs the bike because she wanted that bike. She wanted that bike in particular. Like, why? After he done already paid for it. No, you're not doing that. Who's doing that? Nah,
she lucky she caught the right one.
Yeah,
they just snatched her ass off of there, threw it to the ground, whatever.
She would have got tossed.
That is the one good thing about the hip hop culture that I kind of agree with. They have a I don't give a shit attitude when it comes to stuff like that. They'll just go ahead and handle it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy.
He said, Patty, you said you joined the march against apartheid once.
Okay.
Good.
Dope. I watched the little fundraiser things on TV. I was thinking.
I mean, kudos for those who help helpful way. Yeah, I think we're how does Jay-Z say it? we're beyond we're above, we're beyond marching now. It's time to start popping.
Yeah, it's time to start doing something else. Because that and the rioting doesn't help either, because all that does is help them come in, sweep it up, and then move you out. You're helping them with the gentrification.
Like I said, when you riot and you burn strategic areas. You don't burn in your neighborhood. I mean, shit, if you got to walk 6 blocks down the street, I got a police station less than a mile from here. You burn the police station. You don't burn your neighborhood. You burn the police station. You know, you
burn their areas. You burn their neighborhoods. You don't burn where you stay. So that way,
that's right. City Hall, you have the courts. You have your City Hall. You have the court system. You don't burn, things that you utilize or that people in your areas utilize. You hit strategic areas. You make more of an impact. Shit.
You go up in their Capitol Hill and defecate all on the piss and shit. And see if you're able to walk out there.
Shitty people be walking around. They do that without even riding.
Right, that part. That the president or whoever amped you up to do it, let you do it, or made you do it. It's just absolutely crazy.
They need to do like racist. Yeah, but now they really there's no rules. Even in back in the days, you didn't have other people infiltrating other groups,
but
inciting the riots. Even though they were peaceful. But the ones like with the George Floyd ones, these were outside groups.
Yeah,
and they were white. Because they wanted to spark. They all have this thing of this whole thing of Armageddon, the second coming of Jesus Christ,
right?
Coming along, and it's like, you're gonna fuck around and you're gonna meet your Christ.
Right.
I'm telling you, because they're playing a dangerous game. These people,
they are.
Everybody is ready and poised because you've seen it happen so much. So
that's why they keep pushing pushing guns and allowing the guns to be sold at young ages to get people
ready. Look at Florida. You could just go to the store and buy one. You don't have to have a license. They don't have to do a background check. What kind of stuff is this that you have going on when you have mass shootings in the school system? In schools, but yet you're just saying here you can go. After a while, they'll be selling them back in Walmarts. Like Walmart used to sell guns.
Yeah, used to sell them, and then they stopped. Yeah, they'll be that.
Then it's going to be that thing again.
Yeah.
You say, Antifa. The first time I heard Antifa, I thought they were talking about Queen Latifah at first, right? I'm so fucking stupid sometimes. I was like, what the fuck, Queen Latifah? I said, what, Queen Latifah doing a marathon because everything was going on? They kept saying, Antifa. And I was like, goddamn white people don't, it's Queen Latifah. And I was like, oh, that's something totally different. You stupid ass. I had to laugh at that one.
That's crazy. Let's see. I think that was it that I had for that. Then I guess we can go into, that's all I have for that. And then we can go into this Who Said That? And of course, let's go.
Hey, who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
Who said that? All right. So let's talk about who said that. All right. So the big talk, there's a few conversations going on these YouTube streams. First one is, of course, the most recent. This whole QB and 5Babe on Judge Mathis.
Who scammed that?
Yeah, who scammed that? Yeah. I mean, I guess if that was your thing, but I don't know.
The question
could it have been another way to probably put yourselves out there? Yes. Did I think
it was paid for that?
No. Yeah, I think you do. I think it's like a small claims court type of deal. So you get paid for The person who wins, they get paid by the show. Like the people don't actually, the defendants don't actually pay the litigants or whatever. They do. The show pays.
Oh, they just want you to come out here and air out your
Yeah,
dirty laundry.
you just come out there, you air your dirty laundry, you allow the judge to kind of mediate the situation, and you know, whoever wins gets the money, and there's a top thing of $5,000.
Babs, you a crackhead. Well, that's suffice.
I mean, that's what I was waiting for too. I was waiting for him to be like,
They call QB.
I know a crackhead when I see one. I know it's a crackhead. But I mean, overall, I guess it was a good show. I mean, if you were looking to, like, you know, put yourself out there, do I think the storyline needed some work? Yes, because it was like, oh, he borrowed $3,000 from you. Oh, okay, was that the $3,000 he used to help with the car situation when he didn't have the deductible? Was it that one? And it was like, well, when did this $3,000 situation transpire? I was confused, but nonetheless, you know, she got her money. She was awarded the money for the verdict, and I'm thinking they probably split it because the story, it just seemed a little fictitious. And for those of us who watch or who kind of know the relationship between them, it was kind of like that did not happen, or they are really running a game on TV.
But I'm asking, this is what happens when cash apps dry up. You have to resort to all kinds of means.
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I don't know. It was different, definitely seeing QB without the glasses and the hat.
I wouldn't have recognized him.
Oh no, you still recognize him. But yeah, I don't know. It was different.
I'm just surprised they hadn't flashed pictures, still photos at somebody's screen.
I probably would have preferred, to be honest, a Jerry you know, God rest his soul, a kind of Jerry Springer moment, than Judge Mathis, no less. Yeah, it was kind of like, what are you doing? Like, this probably ain't even happened. Y'all probably just made this up just to get this money. But whatever. Like, I mean, whatever. To each his own. Who is I to judge? Okay, but
yeah. Now, speaking of Jerry Springer, I've been seeing stuff. He has black children.
I just saw that clip too. That he had black kids, and that his wife didn't want him to have a relationship, and then he was like, "Bitch, if you if you want any of my goddamn money, you gonna let me do this for my kids." And so he supported them their whole lives, but I don't think he was around. So this was his final kind of, because I think they passed shortly after making that video.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because he made like I guess a video explaining to them
right
what had happened. And how he loved their mother and whatever else. But I was real surprised. I was like, is this something old? I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what it was. First I thought, I was like, was he giving a lecture or something? But then I'm like, oh no, this is real. This is his real life.
That was a leaked video.
No, he doesn't have black
player
kids.
or something.
That was a leaked video from a player. Oh, okay.
I don't know. It seemed convincing to me.
It did.
I was waiting for him to start throwing chairs.
I was like, get out of here. I was like, Jerry Springer was dipping in the chocolate fountain.
Not surprised.
Right. He seems like the hippie type. But
yeah.
So I don't know about that. But I did hear, and I don't know how true this is, allegedly, that Jamie Foxx and his daughter coming out with a show because he's out of the hospital and at home. The whole thing is just kind of crazy. I mean, just last week he was on death's door and y'all was asking for prayers. Now all of a sudden he's like miraculously healed, and I'm just not. Huh?
It's the power of God.
Yeah, I think let's say Tyler Perry came and laid hands on him, like he did.
Or was it rehab?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, because that one was like, you know, he was like near death and he was resurrected.
Yeah, I just didn't. I don't get it. Like,
And it
people
just
don't
didn't
really
feel. It didn't
people
feel
don't
right
bounce
for a
back that.
celebrity
Yeah.
that quickly.
No.
And she was saying he was playing pickleball. Now I had to even look up pickleball.
I don't even know what pickleball is.
It's like, it looks like tennis with ping pong paddles, little paddles. Like
Oh, okay.
that.
Okay.
I was like, pickleball. First thing I thought was Pornhub. I was like, what is pickleball? What is pickleball?
You didn't know Pornhub. That is your go-to encyclopedia.
That's right. That's right. I don't watch TV no more.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So much trash on there. But yeah, I was like, pickleball. I was like, what is pickleball? I never heard of pickleball.
Yeah, Patty Duke says TMZ said he's in rehab. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That whole situation seems
Probably
very.
got a hell of some fentanyl. Let me stop because we ain't got no Tasha K money like that. So I'll watch what I say.
Yeah, well, she ain't got no money like that either. No more.
Yeah, because girl gives me my money.
I'm
You thought I was fucking
not
playing
playing.
with you.
Give me my money. Every dime of it.
Tasha,
Yeah.
she be making up videos in front of a palm tree in Nigeria. I was like, girl, I keep telling her husband should have hit her in the head with a coconut.
I don't know why you just couldn't stop. I really just don't know what was the
money
driving force.
Because that was one of those. It
had to be more to it. It had to be somebody. It had to be somebody with larger pockets offering to support her if, in fact, she got dealt with any kind of.
She was pulling in Cardi B's stands. When you have all that traffic coming in, and they're going to pay to hear what you talking about, their idol.
Mm-hmm.
That's pulling in a lot of money
to keep you talking shit.
Yeah, because she's the type she didn't pay any of them trolling her, and she's gonna keep saying every time she hears a little bit of this, a little bit of that, she's gonna toss that stuff out there because it drives traffic. Hate is a powerful thing.
Yeah,
it is. When people hate you because you done talked about Beyonce or whatever, her no talent self, right. It's a powerful thing. Now I ain't saying don't come after me, Beehive, or Nicki Minaj with her plastic hips. I don't know how that baby got out. Don't come after me with all that kind of stuff.
It was
yeah, even her, I never said that. Now I still want to know: can her husband be around her child? Because he's a pedophile, he's a sexual offender.
Yeah,
but people hate will drive traffic because you'll have people that'll be nosy enough to see. Just to see what's going on.
Yeah. And speaking of hate, so there was a Mother's Day massacre a little bit. You had Brian and the Miss Man going at it about mothers right before Mother's Day, which I thought was a bit much. But I guess you talk about mine, I'm gonna talk about yours type of situation. So that was that, and then because I'm not gonna delve too much into that because it was. Whatever. Then there's this whole thing about begging, right? So I believe it was Tracy's World who was asking for donations because her lights was off. Now, mind you, the video I saw, right? She said she was asking for donations for her lights, but that she had herself went and got donations to cover the expenses for the lights. That's what I heard. She said it. She says she is not begging, but she's asking for people to help her with the lights. But she went out herself and got the pledges for the lights to get cut back on. Is what she said. And then come to find out, then she needed this large amount of money. So I'm just trying to figure out, were you not paying the bill at all? Did you not pay the bill the whole winter? And then, of course, when spring comes around, the electric company.
Oh yeah, they'll cut you off. They'll cut you off as soon as the weather breaks.
As soon as the weather breaks. So it's like but you knew this was coming, so why didn't you prepare? And then two, I just don't get it. Like I get it. People can support who they want to support, and it's your right. You it's your money. You do what you want to it, like that commercial. It's my money. I want it now. It is your money. You can do what you want with it. But there's also like self accountability. And granted, I'm not trying to be the righteous one here, but it's self accountability. It's up to you first. You live there. Us donating to you for your lights is not helping us. We don't live there. We don't use them. You know what I'm saying? This is you. So this is your part. Like you have.
But people are supporting the habit. I guess he's their habit.
Yeah. But I just think that's just. That's a lot.
Let's just say, ass just ain't sounding like you said.
I don't think nobody was buying that even when it was selling. Okay? I think it was just sitting on the shelf.
I keep telling you, people got kinks.
It was sitting on the shelf. No. The visual what I'm getting right now.
I know it.
So I just feel like a lot of times, if you ask people to donate and support, cool, leave it at that. But it's the lack of accountability here to just make sure that your stuff is taken care of.
No, but to put your business out there like that.
But if you don't have no lights, how are you on here asking for help? Were you using your cell phone? Because if you have no electricity, then you need to conserve all of your electricity, right? So you need to make sure you're
not old school, boy. You run that heavy duty extension cord from your neighbor's house to your house, just enough to keep your refrigerator on to keep it cool, so you can watch some TV
in the dark. It's just crazy. I mean, I do wish her well. I hope she does get the finances to get her lights on if she hasn't already. But however, too, I think it's not all this kind of making it our business to support. I don't know. I just think we need to do better, folks. We need to do better. Like it's all cool and dandy if you up here and you're entertaining people and they feel entertained. But it's like every time there's something, it's like, oh, my engine, I need blah, 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 blah. Or there's a storm coming and people donate because they want to make sure that you are safe when the storm comes. Oops, the storm missed me. So I got money and bought some crab legs, but thank you. And it's just like, what? What are you doing? Then if something really happens, God forbid, people are not going to vegetables. People are not going to believe you because you didn't cry so much. I just feel like it's just really messed up. It really is messed up. But again, I guess it's people's money; they can do what they want with it. But I don't know.
You didn't answer a question. She live in Florida.
I don't know if she lives in Florida. I have no idea.
She can get a paycheck and all the fresh vegetables she can carry.
Says who? Not Ron DeSantis. Hell no. He ain't giving a shit.
Just make sure she got a birth certificate.
Yeah, exactly, Patty Duke. I think that's back to colonial times and walk around with some candles, basically. Be shitting in your house, look around. So I don't know. But, I guess it's just me trying to apply adult logic to situations.
Trying to make sense out of something you can't make sense out of.
But you have time. You have all of winter. You had all of winter to kind of create a payment plan to where in which when it broke, this weather broke, you would have been on the payment plan and your power would still be on.
Not only that, seeing what the monies is available, because a lot of times they'll start breaking during the springtime to allow people enough time to catch up on their bills before you go into the next winter.
Yeah. So I don't know. But
They'll call the church.
yeah,
They're scamming enough people.
They still scamming people.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't follow that, but yeah. So I think that's
Call Creflo Dollar.
Please don't call no Creflo Dollar, and don't call the other. What's the other one in Houston? The Prosperity, Joel Osteen. Don't call.
Joel
Well,
Osteen.
he do got the money in the walls, though. He might be able to help you out. He got money in his bathroom wall, so he got some stashes away. He might be able to help you out. Yeah, no water and no gas. Oh wow.
Wait, they said they had water but no lights.
Well, I don't know. Make it work.
I don't know. Yeah, but you got a cell phone and you got YouTube.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Because then what happens if you pay the bill and then next month? Because as summertime, you don't get those. You don't get those kind of breaks of what you call it. It's like that bill's due. If you don't pay it, they gonna come around, cut that thing right off.
Cut it right off. See that is slick. They just flip a switch now.
Yeah, that's it.
I remember they used to physically come and take the line off the bill.
Oh dang!
They would come out in the bucket truck and disconnect the line off the building.
Wow.
That was a crazy shit. Then and then you get Ray, and he'd come and hook up the heavy duty, and hook up the heavy duty outside lines, extension cords, and hook the lights back up.
Oh wow!
I don't know how that motherfucker did it. It was just about the grace of God that he didn't get electrocuted.
Yeah, that's nice.
It was quick because you ain't nothing like saying bright orange. Heavy duty extension cords stretch from the power lines. It was crazy. I'm like, how the hell you do that shit and not get electrocuted?
I don't
tell you, that crack is a powerful drug.
That is
that shit. Give him a couple of dollars, he was happy. He'd be like Franklin dancing for $20.
Right. That's crazy. Let's see what else. I think that was it. I think that's all I had. Did I watch anything recently? No, not that I can think of.
It's been kind of dry.
Yeah, nothing really going on. I still haven't seen Chevalier. I'm probably find that somewhere.
Yeah, it's not out anywhere yet, which is kind of strange.
Yeah.
Because they did such a big push for it.
Right, but then they halted it. It because I seen that preview. I think it was either Black Panther or before. Might have been before. And then I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll see it then." And
then it's like nothing. I was like, "Oh, it must have came." I was like, "Damn, how did I miss that?"
Right.
And it's like, no, it hasn't been released yet.
Right. Let's see. But yeah, really, that's all I have. I have nothing else.
Okay.
Any questions or anything anybody had, or any shows anybody's watching? I haven't really seen anything. I think I took a break since that devastating Franklin situation, which was like, oh, dang. You had all that. You just
I have
yourself because you turned around and be your father.
I have something on a somber note. Mental illness is real. It is real. Yes. Everybody, please check in.
Yes, please.
Or check in on your friends. YouTube, you know Kid Fury, right?
Yes.
Kid Fury. He tried to commit suicide.
Wow.
He used to be a YouTuber.
Right.
And he checked himself in, tried to kill himself. So the mental illness, no matter how you think other people may think, you may think you have the world, it's in your court, it's in your favor, and mental illness is real. Don't take it lightly when somebody says or mentions something.
Yeah.
Believe them. especially if it's out of character.
Right. And there is the number for the suicide help crisis hotline that airs after the show. So stick around for that. You get the number immediately after this broadcast. So if yourself or if you know of anyone that may be struggling with depression or anything of that nature and may just need someone to talk to kind of find resources, that is a hotline that you could definitely reach out to actually get resources. It's just like 911, where it has a dispatch and can guide the person to actual resources. So that is definitely very mindful and something we all could use in times like that. And know that these things happen. And we need to be mindful and just as supportive of it, because your mental health, your physical health, it is all important. It is all health is wealth, period. And so it all has to be checked. And we all have to make sure that we're checking in on each other and not just taking for granted that, oh, they got it together or they got it because they seem to have it all together on the outside. But on the inside could really be struggling. So we want to make sure that we're digging a little deeper just to make sure that people are truly okay, that we care about.
Yeah. And him and his co-host, Crystal, they're both on medication. And that's another thing.
Wow.
Don't assume because they're on medication that everything's pretty straight, because that sometimes you're going to have it adjusted back and forth with some. It may work for some and it may not work for others, or they just build up a tolerance over time. So you always just kind of keeping that ear perked up when you hear something that doesn't sound right, or they're just not acting right, or they just kind of drop off the face of the earth, that type of thing.
Well, prayers go out to him and his family as well as his co-host. That's a serious thing. And sometimes you feel, as bystanders and friends, sometimes you feel helpless, that there's something that you can do. There's always something you can do. And that's what that resource is for, to kind of reach out, even if they can't, that you can do that to kind of guide them in the right direction to kind of save a life. So it's definitely something that we definitely want to make sure that we are doing and we're being mindful of. And I definitely check out that show, Jury Duty, Petty Duty. Note that to myself and check that out. But with that said,
what were you saying, Patty? You didn't have to take meds? Yeah, when I used to get really depressed, I used to have like fail safes. Like if I was taking any medication for anything, I would take the medication and put it in my kids' room on the very top of their dresser, because it would make me walk into their rooms and make me realize that you don't want to do something really dumb. Just little fail safes, little things to trick myself, because I know how I am. It's like, oh, they'll be so fucking devastated in your mind when you're having those real weak moments. That there's something more important than that voice telling you, oh, go ahead and do it, ain't nobody gonna miss you, that type of thing. Then it's like, oh no, they're laying there and whatever, and it's like they'll be all fucked up and shit. They'll be in my shit, but they'll be all fucked up and shit. I don't want to I don't want to do that to them. Because a lot of times
and it is devastating. I mean, it's kind of a, I don't know, it seems a little harsh, but it's kind of a selfish moment in the action, because there's a lot of people on the back end that will have long-term trauma because of what happened, from the person that may find you, from family members discovering that, from them. Now, people closest to you trying to figure out, well, what could I have done?
What happened to trigger this moment?
And what could I have done to save he or she from this moment? A lot of things that could, send the people that are left behind into a different space and place. So it's definitely a chain kind of effect. And I know sometimes it's like the person's going through so much pain they don't want to they don't want to think about it, they just want to end it. But
End it all, yeah.
you note that it is,
And it only takes a split second. That's the scary part.
Yeah,
it's a split second. That's like, do it, you know, that type of thing. And it's like,
so many people are affected by it. Though it's not just you. You know, it's not just the person dealing with the actual situation. It's everybody. Everybody connected to that person. Even though that person may feel alone, you come to find out that you're not. You know, that there are people there that will be justly affected.
But it's crazy because everybody, especially nowadays, I think it's just so much shit.
Yeah, and it is a lot. We spent almost 3 years, 2.5 years in pretty much a bubble, going in and going out, not being able to really do a lot of things that you've grown accustomed to, and people having to deal with being in isolation that probably never really, you know, did that.
Yeah, that or being trapped with their abusers, that type of thing there too. You had that. Can you imagine being? Oh, I'm surprised there weren't more deaths than what there were. Well, it might have been.
I mean, it might have been. We just didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Domestic abuse situation. Yeah. Hospitalizations due to domestic abuse and all types of stuff. So
so it's like a turning point. Just civilization wise, just stuff on top of stuff.
Yeah, and it's a wake up call that we need to, you know, pay attention more to our mental psyche and make sure that, you know, you are good. You are good all around. We spend time going to the gym or making New Year's resolutions to lose weight, whatever, you know, lose weight, gain weight, cut the weight out, get a lap band, get a this, get a that. But we definitely need to make sure that we are checking it mentally too.
Prayer cloth ain't work.
Yeah, no, you had to go in and get a deeper prayer cloth. Like,
let me lay hands all in it.
All in that gut. Child, he went from having twins to just to being slim. Some arms still look a little thick. And the man,
no, that's like you ever see women that cook, especially down south? It's just a genetic thing. They had the big arms, and they lose all that weight, and the arms are just still there. But that comes from stirring them pots, you know, cooking in them pots and stuff. That's how you know motherfucker can burn. And I'm like, she ain't got thick arms. You can't feed me, man.
I don't know if he can burn.
Well, that's because you eating vegetables and twigs and stuff.
I don't know if he can cook. First, I don't eat twigs.
Oh, I don't eat, eating twigs.
Because the people can just be big sometimes from eating a lot of fast food and processed food.
Well, I ain't talking about him. I'm just talking about big women with big arms. That's a lot of love. That's seasonings and shit. You ain't got arms to stir in them pots.
Salt and high blood pressure.
You can't fuck with me. You know how to make shit from scratch. You know what, flour.
It's about many don't burn no chicken.
That's right. You know. This shit ain't got to come already pre-portioned in boxes that they ship to you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that whole thing, that is like a whole phenomenon. This whole meal prep thing is really taken off to something that is really like, what's wrong with just doing it? Why are we such in an area where I can't put it together?
I could see if there's certain things, maybe certain spices that you don't normally get. It's something that you want to try. But you know what? Too people don't cook like that no more.
People don't cook like that no more. Yeah, that's true too.
It'd be like, what seasoning is that? I never heard of it. What do you mean? It's curry. You know, you go to the store, you buy it. They have almost everything now. Salt and pepper.
They do. Not salt and pepper. Your basic essentials.
That's it. Are you supposed?
Oh, you know.
Are you supposed to wash your chicken? No, go ahead.
Speaking of chicken, I had ordered a pizza one time, and I usually do like chicken and pineapple or something like that, or pineapple and red onions. But I did chicken and pineapple. And this particular pizzeria, I guess they must have just boiled the chicken, cut it up, and put it on top of the pizza. I've never in my life tasted what just plain chicken tastes like. Well, I kid you not. I was about to be like, you know what? I don't even do chicken, and chicken is mostly what I like. If I were to eat, if I do eat meat, it's the chicken or turkey or something like that. And I was really about to be like, you know what? I'm not even doing chicken. That's how bad I was like. Chicken really tastes like this? I've only ever tasted it salt and pepper and like seasoning and stuff. I've never had just bland
chicken. Yeah,
just
and it smells.
It
smells.
And I was like, yeah,
it ain't got no, no batter, no crust on it. I don't want to eat it because it's chicken stink.
Yeah,
smell almost like white people with all wet, nasty. What is that smell?
Yeah, it was.
They say trying to lose can be frustrating, making your body pain from exercising, and he's hanging in there. Not giving up though. Yeah, Patty, you have to take your time. You have to take your time and little changes.
Yeah, and you have to go at your own
But
pace.
even if you don't lose what you want to lose, you've picked up something else to do.
You have good habits and good things to do to kind of get you on your way.
Mm-hmm. And everybody's
body is different.
Yeah, because what works for one will not work for another person. Yeah. And some things are just genetic.
Yeah.
And then too, when you get older, my shit has changed so much in the last 4 years. It's ridiculous. It has ridiculous because I used to have muscle mass. It's like I need a bra. It's not as bad as the other person's, but they don't sit up. They've dropped. I can probably measure how much they've dropped, but and it's like you have muscle over top. It's almost like a suit or something. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's just like you kind of lose volume, but that's just what comes with age. But yeah, this getting old ain't for no punks. you got ain't no lie on that shit. Yeah. Ain't no lie on that shit. But it is. But like I said, once you find what works for you, and just stick to it and allow yourself a cheat day.
Right. It's like a lot of times people be so hard on themselves to obtain it. Like, yeah, you can obtain it. You just have to kind of find a rhythm that works well for you. You don't have to completely stop some of the things that you eat. You find a different alternative or a different way to eat them and eat healthy. I've read a few places that actually people in other countries only eat when they're hungry. They don't eat like
they don't eat 3 square meals a day. You eat whenever you get hungry.
Because your body is then saying that you need to eat then.
And if you're one of those ones that like to hop on the scale, remember too, when you're working out, that muscle mass is heavier than fat. So you may think, oh, I am gaining weight,
right?
But no, you're putting on muscle.
Right.
So I would just say, go by the way you feel. If you know you have you now have a better range of motion, you can move and whatever, a lot freer, or you could do more push-ups or whatever it is, the exercise that you're doing, your stamina is building, that type of thing. You look at those things. Don't try to measure it too much as far as what's like on paper, what you should be. I used to hate when doctors say that for your BMI should be a certain you should be a certain weight. For me, being 6 feet, and if I was like 175, I would be ready for the casket. Because it just does not. It's like, oh boy, you look bad. But 190, I feel good. I look good. I feel good, or whatever. And that's another thing too, how you feel.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely very important.
And as long as you can poop, you're good. You're doing good.
Yeah, and you should be pooping all the time. Yeah, you definitely should be pooping all the time. And as far as real quick with weight stuff, if you find yourself gaining muscle mass, and that's really not what you want to do from the weights that you're lifting. Try less weights, more reps tone out your thing that you're gaining. Hey, what's going on, Johnny Mac? Nice.
Hey, Johnny Mac.
You, sir. Yeah, so that's a good tip to do. Otherwise, I think that's it. That's all I got. That's all I got for you lovely people this week. And definitely,
Daddy said, "You good girl."
Good, awesome. And always note that water helps that. So
Yes.
Plenty of water helps push that stuff down, and get those bowels moving to get that out of there.
That's right. You don't want to hold on to it.
Yeah, no.
It's not a memory.
Yeah, it's definitely not. You want to let it go and let it out. Relax, relate, and
release.
As Whitley Gilbert used to say. But yeah, that's all I got this week, guys. It was great as always seeing you all. And until next week, be mindful, stay focused, be vigilant, stay moisturized. I can't say that enough.
And stay out of Florida.
Yeah, stay the hell out of Florida.
Because they might just kidnap you, have you working on the farm.
Oh, Lord.
And Nate don't pick no cotton. Or no fruit, no grapes. Or tomatoes.
Oh, tomatoes. Nothing.
Or anything.
None of that. Does not check out.
No, only if I had to. If my lights were off and I needed a job. I can make tomato sandwiches, fried green tomatoes or something.
I'm not going with you. I'm not going. On that note, everybody have a blessed night. And until next time, America, peace out.
Take care.